let's start and let's see what we can do, or how we can monitor Windows using Windows Remote Management with i-Vertix. So as maybe not, or as maybe Windows Remote Management, it's not familiar for every one of you, I would like to do a little introduction about what is WinRM, what advantages he has, and give you also a small comparison between the different, let me say, possibilities how we can monitor Windows. And then we go to a live demo. I show you how you can configure Windows Remote Management, how you can monitor using this technology, and so on, and what are the capabilities that we have, that we offer. So first topic, what is Windows Remote Management? So this is, let me say, Microsoft has introduced this protocol since Windows Server 2008, so for many years ago. It based on the VS Management Protocol. So this is a standard, an open standard. It's not only on Windows VS Management. So Microsoft has called then this WinRM, and gives the capability to interact with a remote system using HTTP or HTTPS. It has it's the integration. It's quite deep, so it offers a lot of possibilities. For example, to run a PowerShell remotely, or to run different management tools and so on, to access to the WMI, to access to event logs and so on. So it has a nice feature set. It's normally can be run in two modes. So it's HTTP or HTTPS. For sure, if we run on HTTPS, it's quite, it's obviously that everything is then encrypted using HTTPS protocol. It offers security features, so especially for the authentication. So, and for this then, we will see this afterwards. We have also two different scenarios which we need maybe to see separately, but it supports a Kerberos authentication. It supports NTLM authentication, basic authentications, certificate-based authentication. So we have different authentication methods, and as you know, Kerberos for sure is the most secure, and maybe then also the most flexible that you can use. On the other side, it is also possible to configure WinRM on Microsoft side using group policies. So it's something that you can do. And if local firewall, or you have a firewall between, you need to open these two ports. So depending on which kind of communication we have, in our example that we will then do, we will use HTTPS. On the other side, so what can be pro and cons about the WinRM? So as I said, it's a modern protocol, offers a wide range of features. It's quite secure. So it's at the moment the most secure method when you use HTTPS in combination with Kerberos to monitor a Windows system. It's easier to handle like WMIs, for example, what means on the firewall ports, because we have one single port and that's it. We have a lot of possibilities. I will show them this in the demo, and for sure it's agentless. So it's technology. You don't need to install something, handle something, or some. So it's quite. It's completely integrated. What are the limitations? So one is WinRM. It's only available on Windows, not VS Management, but WinRM, yes, and requires a configuration. So that means it's not full ready out of the box when you have a Windows server or a new fresh Windows server. The configuration maybe can be also a little bit tricky or a little bit complex, depending maybe on your domain policies and so on. but you can automate then with group policies. And as the use case at the moment, we have integration on i-Vertix to monitor classical Windows. We can monitor then also Active Directory services, not only services, but when we speak about Active Directory, I have mentioned, for example, the CDIAC to monitor the replication. We can monitor IIS. On the IIS, it's a little bit depending on which IIS version then did we have it, but this is maybe an issue from our side, not from WinRM side. And we can monitor also Veeam using WinRM. So more or less the most capabilities that maybe today you will use, maybe also with an i-Vertix agent, they are still available also on WinRM. And we can execute remote scripts to also for monitoring reasons. Here, this is a little, let me say, comparison sheet about different technologies. So from i-Vertix, we support WinRM, we support SNMP, and we have our agent. As you know, there's also WMI. We, in i-Vertix, we have decided since some years to not more support WMI, but this is only a comparison to show you what are the capabilities when you can use which protocol, and what could be maybe the limitations. So let me say WMI is completely proprietary Microsoft. It's SNMP, it's classical SNMP, but Microsoft unfortunately has only SNMP version 1 or 2 available, no SNMP version 3. The agent that we use has a REST API integration, so it's also encrypted. So this is classical REST API. On the protocols, as you can see, we WinRM 1 port, WMI different ports, SNMP and agent still 1 port. Authentication, Kerberos for sure is it's a game changer. It's also available Kerberos on WMI, on SNMP or on our agent is obviously not available. We have encryption on all technologies outside SNMP because Windows doesn't offer SNMP version 3. What's firewall? It's quite the only firewall, let me say, not so easy to do this is with WMI because the other protocols are using still 1 port, and it's quite easy to handle this on the firewall level. On performance side, there are different, let me say, different aspects. So on WinRM, we know it has a good performance. It works also quite stable, and it has also a good performance if the system has a high load. With WMI, this could be an issue because WMI has a heavy load or heavy impact on the remote system, but also on the monitoring side. So it could be then a performance issue. As SNMP, you know, it's a lightweight protocol. Performance side is not a problem, and even on the agent, the performance is not an issue on this for the monitoring reason. What we can do, so the data scope, what we can do. So let me say, with WinRM, we can do more or less the same things that we can do with the i-Vertix agent. So we can have or even more at the moment additional. We have additional features inside that maybe they are not available on the agent side. With WMI, there are some limitations. So you have access to the complete WMI, but it's not so rich like WinRM or like the agent. And as you know, SNMP is limited because offers basic counters, but it should be also enough if you want to monitor, let me say, Windows in a lightweight or in a basic mode, no problem.
Configuration side, yeah, WinRM, as I said, you need to configure WMI. Normally, it's just configured and you can use it. SNMP, yeah, it requires maybe the agent installation and configuration. Configuration can also be done on SNMP to a group policy agent. You need to install, deploy the agent, and maybe you need to update the agent. So this is one maybe of the biggest challenges on the agent. Or we have also a lot of customers that they say we don't want to have an agent or a third-party software installed on a Windows server. So this maybe gives you a quick overview. What we need to what we need to do on the configuration side to run WinRM. We have here two scenarios. On the demo, we will show you an example on the standalone server, but on the domain, it's quite similar, but there are some differences. So one is you need to enable WinRM. In the most cases, it's just enabled by default since Windows 2012. So every newer Windows version has enabled this by default. If you want to monitor to use HTTPS for the communication, then we need a HTTPS certificate, and we need to configure the HTTPS listener using the certificate that then the communication will be encrypted. On the standalone, so this both things are similar, let me say, for both standalone and domain. On domain server, it's when you have servers on the domain, then you can deploy easily maybe the HTTPS certificates using your internal certificate authority and with a template, and so the certificate authority can then deploy and also renew automatically the certificates, and also the listener creation can be done using a group policy. On the standalone, we need to enable a basic authentication. So because on a standalone, we cannot use a Kerberos configuration or authentication, but this is disabled by default. Then for sure, in case you need to open the firewall ports, so if they are there, and then we need to have a user on the Windows side which we will authenticate. If we have a standalone, then you can create a user on the, let me say, a user on the Windows. Like on WMI, the user on the server which you will monitor needs to be a local admin. This is for standalone, but also for domain server. On the domain side, you create a domain user. You create a group policy that will add this domain user on the local administrator group to your servers. The user on the domain side doesn't need some specific rights, so can be a normal user. And we need to bring the poller, we need to bind the poller to the domain and configure the Kerberos authentication here on this side, and then it will work, and it will handle also password changes and everything in a dynamic mode. Great, so I think it's time to see how this will work. I try to share now here a screen. I hope you can see it. So this here is a fresh Windows Server 2025 installation. It's only simple installed in a, let me say, yeah, in a standard way with the latest patches running. And now we can check here we can now check here the Windows WinRM configuration. And for them, normally we can use a PowerShell. So there are a PowerShell command. I put it here, WinRM get WinRM config, and this will give us here back the actual configuration, how WinRM is configured. And we can see here, we have here our WinRM service configuration.
And for example, we can see here that the Kerberos authentication is true. The basic authentication is not active at the moment. We have here the default ports and so on. So these are all the, let me say, WinRM configurations that you have in a fresh installed server. We can take a look on the listener. So as I said, WinRM has some listener. Sorry, I need to bring the right command. So the listener is which we can communicate. And as we have here done nothing, we have only a HTTP listener on this part. So so this means we are not in an encrypted mode. This is the standard listener that we have. So if you want to use or to monitor a standalone or Windows using this technology in HTTP, the listener is just there and will work. In our case now, we will create a certificate and we will create a HTTP listener. So we will go to an encrypted communication. It's on a proactive system. It's the better way and it's more secure. So we need to create, first of all, a certificate to do this. So we have here, just a second, we have here our, what happens here with the, okay. We have here this IP address. So for this testing reason, I create here, for example, I will now create here a certificate using PowerShell for the IP address. As this host is not in our DNS, normally here you should create the certificate using not the IP address, but the host name or the DNS name about your system. But here I will now create this for the IP address. Now we will create here a certificate with a lifetime about 10 years. This now should be in the certificate store. Let's check. So personal certificates. Now we have here our certificate. And this is what I said, when you have a domain, you can easily do this with your certificate authority. So that means now we have a certificate. Now what we need to do is, let me say, this is our certificate here. It's what I have here. So, and here we can see the thumbprint. So this is the unique ID about this certificate that I have created. And now it's quite easy. We can, with this command here, create HTTPS listener for the host name that we have in this one here. So then this should be maybe different on your side. And here with the thumbprint, so that means that for this listener, this certificate will be then attached. Now, the system tells us that this certificate is now created. If we go now to see our listener, we should now see two listeners. And as you can see, now we have a HTTP listener on our port. This is the hostname that we have used. And here we can see the certificate thumbprint. So that means that the right certificate is attached here to the HTTPS service. The only thing that now we need to do in this case, because we have here a standalone server, so we can do a server's authentication. We need to enable the basic authentication. Now we have also enabled the basic authentication, and if we do a look on our complete WinRM configuration, we see it's ready. So that means now we have created a certificate, we have created a HTTPS listener, and we have activated the basic authentication. If we are on Kerberos, this here is not needed. Okay, so now let's see if this will work for monitoring reason. So I have here our i-Vertix. I go here in, let me see, in the host list. I have here just created, but only to be to reduce the time. I have here created a host with a name. I give them the IP address. I have attached the right template, so Windows Server WinRM. I have here used the administrator account, but you can also create, let me say, another user and give them the right to do this. So then you can change here only username and password. This is, as I said before, only necessary if you have this basic or the standalone configuration, because when we go to the Kerberos, username and password then should be handled not more here on the monitoring side, but we have the Kerberos ticket on our operating system when we join the poller to the domain, and then we don't need more to handle here username and password. But this, let me say, is our configuration, and now we can try, or I have activated the host here at the moment. It's not running, but now we can try to export the configuration, and let's see if this will work. So now we have here our services. The system will now start to try to monitor this. I can push here something so to have some quicker result, and hopefully now something will be happen, and we will see that here the monitoring will be start. Waiting is still a problem, so hopefully we will have back a result. The monitoring concept is quite similar to all the rest about how we are monitoring or how we deal with let me say, oh, now here we have a timeout reached. Maybe we don't have, we have here now the firewall still a firewall issue. Let's check this. So this is now quite, let's troubleshoot this here. If we have here the firewall that is blocking us. Yeah, here firewall is on, so I will put it off to handle. Otherwise, I need to create here a policy. It's also possible to do this, or I can do the policy here. Let me say also using PowerShell. So now I have created a policy on the firewall that will allows us to query to reach the WinRM service. So this now should be work. Let's see. Yeah, and now it works. It was only the firewall on the local firewall on the Windows server that was not yet configured. So now here we can see the first results. What we can do now is, for example, we can also here we have our manual discovery. So when I go to our to select here our system, we have here different options that we can, for example, try to discover what kind of storages we have on this machine. And this is the classical, let me say, discovery that you know. So we found here a disk C. And as you know, also here, you can then create a service discovery job to do some automation that maybe on the disk it could be useful. So we now will configure here this server or the service here to monitor also the disk. We have here the discovery for the Windows services. So it's as on the other systems, we will see here all the services. This it's up to you then to select which kind of service you want to monitor. We can still here also discover processes. A nice thing that we have done is we have here done also discovery on the task scheduler. So we have a lot of customers that they want also to monitor task schedulers. And for example, here you can have a discovery about the task scheduler, about all the jobs that in the task scheduler are there. So maybe we need to a little bit more time here. And let's see here, task scheduler. There are normally a lot of jobs inside, so we should see now here back then all these jobs. As you can see, there are 200 jobs that are. It's an incredible number on a fresh installed system. But then for sure, if I create also a new task, I found it here, and then I can see, I can select them, and then, for example, the task scheduler will be monitored if the task is executed very well, and so on. So could be quite easy. We can monitor with WinRM easily event log. So when you want to monitor on an event log, let me say, then some events. You can do this. You have to create the service manually. I try now to create here a task, create a basic task to do test Jochen. This should be run daily. Yeah, and then start the program, and this task should be start maybe this command here. Hopefully this will work, or maybe I don't need, if I need to do the right, all the, let's see. Yeah, so this task will run. As you can see, if I run it, he will open this CMD. Now I can scan here for the task, and now we should see 201, hopefully. And oh, it's just here. I select them, and in this case, now, for example, we have also this CMD open, so maybe we can also check if this process is running. So that means now I try to discover here the processes which are running on this system, and let's see now. So now here we should have, I will search, we should have here our CMD. Yeah. So I add them also to the monitoring system, and then we will export them, and then it should be under monitoring, both things. So as you can see, quite easy. Here we have, yeah, CPU. It's a little bit high. I don't know. So these are, they have probably only limited resources. But here you can see now we are starting to monitor our task scheduler, and we are starting to monitor also the disk that we have to start also the process. So now they should be hopefully be green. The disk yes, the CMD yes, and the task scheduler hopefully even. So this is running. So yeah, because it's running but terminated, but this is then only a configuration. So on the threshold side. Great. So as you see, to monitor with WinRM, it could be easy. You need to prepare a little bit, but you can do with a PowerShell script in one time, whoop, and everything is done. Or you can do this then with group policies if you are on the domain side. So let's turn quickly. Let's return quickly to the PowerPoint, and so we will finish our demo session, and I will go to show you here, to remember you, first of all, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us or subscribe to our newsletter to have any news about i-Vertix, about next webinars, next academies, and so on, new features, and so on. And the next i-Vertix Academy will be on December 3, same time. And in this, we will show you in detail how to work with the new dashboards from the new major version, the capabilities of them, and how you can use them. So from my side, this is I finished. I hope you enjoy it. So if you have some question, please put it on the chat, and I am happy to respond on your questions if something is if you have something.